Hello, Samadan here, and welcome to Dragonflight Alpha. Now in my last video I had a look at the professions, my first impression of them, and we had a look at blacksmithing in more detail. So for this video I'm going to have a look at alchemy and see how that feels as a profession coming into Dragonflight and see how it levels up and what we have available at the moment. Now we have the trainer and everything available to us here, so first things first, let's look at the herbs that we're going to be able to get. So we have a number of herbs at the moment. We've got the common herb ranks 1, 2 and 3, and the saxifrage is 3 ranks of that, bubble poppy, and we have writhe bark. So those are kind of your 4 main herbs. Perhaps this common one being your equivalent common one. There's also Omnium Draconis, which is possibly your higher end, your green ones, the same as the primal convergent, ranks 1, 2 and 3 of all of those. Interestingly, you also have draconic vials, so these actually have different quality to them as well, which is quite interesting. And then there's a whole bunch of different rousing elemental things like air, order, blood, fire, earth, frost, and decay. So there's a rousing version of each of those, and there's an awakened version of each of those as well. So there's a whole load of stuff, and then there's some things that are purple here. You've got the earthen soul, fiery soul, icy soul, and airy soul. So these are probably your mythic bind-on pickup kind of reagents that you're going to get at later stages. So I think this is all your common stuff that you're going to need. This is kind of your less common, the green and the blue items, and this stuff is going to be your mythic soul-bound stuff. My guess at this stage, I don't really know fully, but these are obviously marked as soul-bound here. So let's have a look at the profession itself. So if we have a look at the trainer, so we've already done the first training of this, so let's go into our alchemy. Now again, like blacksmithing, we've got an empty slot here, which I assume is going to be for our specializations. And our gear, we have our tool and our accessories, much the same as like blacksmithing. I don't have anything that I've made as of yet. I haven't checked blacksmithing to see if it's got anything that I can make here yet. We'll look into that in a later video. Let's have a look at the recipes though. So starting off easy, the sort of leveling process that you'd have normally. So everything here is going to give us a skill up anyway. Start off usually with a healing potion. We're using the best quality reagents at the moment. So this is with a rank 3 for a rank 3 vial and a rank 3 common herb. So the crafting details of this is recipe difficulty is 100, our skill is 26, so we've got a kind of expected quality here of 1 at the moment. But looking at this, so rank 1 restores 30,000 health, the rank 2 restores 32,900. If we drop this right down to the most common ones available, this drops right down here, you can see. So this is kind of your dirt cheap. You might as well just make these as your standard healing potions. Makes 5 of them at the moment looking at this. So let's make a few of these just to get some skill ups. Now if we're lucky we might rock a higher version of this. I have a feeling alchemy, especially with the 9.2.7 with the shared region-wide commodities, alchemy is going to be really all about efficiency. It's the only way you're really going to realistically make any money as a gold maker. There's going to be huge amounts of volume and really doubling down on your efficiency. Oh, there we go. We got 1 quality 2 one. So with a bit of RNG, you might be able to sell that for a slightly higher price. But really, what you want to do here is skill up as quickly as possible. I've got up to 13 already, and these have gone green. So if we swap this over to better quality reagents, and we're still going at quality 1 here, so we need a higher skill before we can get any better at this. So let's learn a few more recipes. Now when we have a look, we've got a few different things that we can make. Let's start with what have we got here. So different sections here. We've got reclaiming, so reclaim concoctions. Extract dragon's alchemical solution from a large quantity of unwanted potions or files. Oh, okay. So we can actually feed this back into our system. So if we have, what did we make? Some healing potions. We drop that in. Okay, interestingly, it's gone the whole amount that we have. That's very convenient. Reclaim concoctions. So we add that in. then what do we do? I'm not sure this is currently working. Select a reagent to consume. Steaming, healing potions. Okay, this isn't quite working as I would have thought. Oh, okay. Now it's come through. So you drag it in, you drop it in there, then you click the one you want. Slightly convoluted, but okay, we've got 105 of 5. And let's reclaim these. Let's see what we get back from that. Okay, then we get a solution. Okay. Dragon's alchemical solution. A byproduct of... You don't know what this looks like. This is the scrapper all over again, isn't it? Oh, scrapper. No scrapping. Okay. Well, let's grab that. That was one we picked up from them. Hopefully there's a more automated system from doing this. What did we get from there? So we got the chemical solution. I'm going to have to click that every time. That's going to be incredibly annoying. Let's just do some of these for now. We are getting a slight skill up on these. This is kind of a bit like disenchanting. I'm not sure how much I've got the patience to do this, having to click on this each time. But we get an idea of the process here. I'm not sure what this solution will be used for. Whether there we go. The alchemical solution can be used in some extra things here. So you basically make your trash things and then you feed them back into the profession. Let's learn that as well. Oh, there's not much here actually. This only goes up to skill level 25. So blacksmithing's the same. It got up to 100, so this goes up to 100. But recipe-wise, that's very interesting. We've only got these ones available from the trainer. There's probably other recipes that I can buy. We'll look into that in a moment. So we've got air potions, mana, experimentation, experiment with volatile reagents in hopes of discovering a new recipes. Ah, okay. We're going for a discovery system here. So this is always a nice element to professions. So I'm going to go with these as they are. It looks like I'm going to have to reclaim concoctions. Is there any other way of getting that? I wonder. You're almost going to have a two-stage process just to reclaim things to then... Well, I guess this is part of like the thematically... This is experimenting with stuff. So you're making stuff, you're boiling it back down, and then you're making something else from it with the hopes of being able to get something. This is definitely under the reclaiming the experimentation section, whereas these are your more standard. I'm going to use different things I've got here. Recrafting, Dragon Isle, specific awakened air, tepid versatility, and again we're looking at this. Increase your versatility by 72. That's at rank 1, and if it's at rank 2, it goes up to 75. Okay. Writhe Fire All. Okay, this is a finishing reagent. Quenching oil that improves crafting by 3 and resourcefulness by 3. And plus 3 deftness, whatever that is. Okay, I'm going to make some of these. Actually, I'll do these for the skill ups whilst we're here. See if we discover anything new. So we've learnt a new thing there. And another thing, so this is all the potions. Okay. This is interesting. This is a nice way to sort of fill out the profession. Although the barrier to entry to this is obviously just materials, so it's not necessarily a good system. I think alchemy may be one of... Oh. Okay. Okay, there was a problem with my potion there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, poor Torin, I blew you up nearly. I've gone down to like nearly no health as well. Okay, alchemy is dangerous. We learnt from that. Okay, brilliant. What else should we... Better not experiment any further whilst our health is going back up. So let's make some Writhe Fire Oil. A little bit of that whilst it's still got a skill up for us. We'll do that. Dangerous. Dangerous alchemy. Okay, it's gone to green already. We'll just grab a few more. What are we at? Probably the next bracket is 30, I imagine. But it'd be nice to have these for blacksmithing when we discover a little bit more about finishing reagents and things. Obviously I'm a priest, I could heal myself, but I'll let that just go up on its own for the moment. Okay, that's gone grey, we're up to 30. Let's go back to our trainer. Oh, actually, that's everything. There we go. Everything has been learnt. The rest is going to have to come from discovery, or we've got experimentation here. We've got air potions, frost potions, cauldrons. Again, that's common in the expansion these days. Elemental files and potions. Here we go. Transmutations. These are going to be useful. Taking from one to another. This is kind of the bread and butter of an alchemist. And looking for ways you can probably make gold. Transmutations may be something, but again, these are going to be commodities, and so you're fighting the entire region for these. So it's always a fight down to the lowest common denominator. Not necessarily a good market for gold making unless you're going to do it en masse. We've got some more optional reagents here. Potion absorption inhibitor. Increases the duration of the potions, plus 35 difficulty. And a flavor pocket. Increases duration, are well fed, and they persist through death. That's pretty handy. So if you're going to make your top end potions, and then incense. What's incense used for? Use minds everyone nearby, granting increased inspiration. Oh, okay. A new kind of buff thing, I think. I can see thematically that's going to be fun for a Tauren or something to put some herbs down. And then we've got the standard trinket thing, alchemist stone for that one, and a sustaining one, both level 70 at this stage. And there's a lot we need to put into those. Okay, so that's the basics covered. Let's skill up a little bit more. We probably need to do some discovery as well in order to learn some new things. Well, that's interesting. Cooldown 19 hours 56. Is this going to be a daily cooldown? Probably, so that reminds me of other older expansions that have this same kind of mechanic. Just to time gate it slightly. A bit like the Pandaria things, really. Do one thing a day until you've got everything. How much more there is to this? This is just basic experimentation and then advanced experimentation here. Again, still using this solution, so we're going to have to use this quite a lot, the internal scrapper. Actually, that's quite handy. We didn't have to drag it in. Just click it and it's there. Okay, that's a lot more intuitive. Nice, and see that working. We're at full health, so this shouldn't cause us any problems. Is this down to an auto loot thing? Hold on. Maybe that's no longer a thing that's needed. I don't see it here. I mean, it's something I always turned on anyway. Social and key bindings. Maybe not. Okay. I'll leave that as it is. We'll have to do that a little bit more manually. I'll come back to this a bit later. I've run out of time for the moment, but first thoughts. It's interesting. We've got some discovery stuff, which is nice. My general thoughts about alchemy before even looking at this was my worry is the region-wide commodity side of things. I think that may be a stumbling block for making gold in alchemy. Yes, I mean, utility for all your raid mates and your dungeon friends and things like that in your guild. By all means, this is certainly a good profession to have, but whether it's a good one for gold making remains to be seen. I think we'll know more once the work orders and the region-wide sort of crafting commodities and things like that come into effect. Okay, so alchemy, let's see where we're at currently. We're at skill level 30. A few things that we can start creating. We've got the basic experimental things, so we could do a few more of these to get our alchemical solution that we can then use to do our experimentation. So one thing leads to another. I wonder how much this is going to be tied behind daily tasks or anything like that. Okay, so that's 10 of those. Let's do some experimentation on this. I think this should have a daily cooldown on it, because we do some discovery, which is how we're going to get our other recipes, and we are skilling up at this point, which is really nice. Just got to watch out for those explosions that literally take you right down. See, because this has a cooldown remaining of 19 hours 59, so that must be it. We can only do a certain amount and then we're stuck. So let's carry on with, say, some other potions like these. Again, we're at quality 1 and 2. Quality 2 is nature damage, and 14,000 and 15,000. So a little bit more nature damage, essentially, to those. Air, frost. So these are elemental potions in a way. They have different reagents, like the awakened things that we picked up, and some awakened earth as well. So it's tying in with the elements and things like that. Up to 49.50, we should be able to get some more actual recipes. Let's have a look. That's all of our recipes. Okay, so we're done on that front. So in terms of actual other recipes, ones that we probably end up discovering or something like this are going to be all of this lot. So I'll just buy up all of these for the moment. We'll probably end up having to collect these from some other source, or some of these could probably be from the discovery. Seems I already know some of these. Now, some of these ones are epic, so these could potentially be ones that you can only get from raids or something like that, perhaps. Okay, so I'll learn all of these. That's interesting. This one actually says it's toxic, reduces the mana cost of all spells, but also increases cast time. So there's counter effects on some of these. So it looks like there's a bit more flavour to potions now. It's really nice to see. Okay, that's all of the ones bought at the moment. I think that covers everything apart from Cauldron of Ultimate Power. I didn't pick that one up. Maybe one that I just haven't actually collected, but everything else we do have. So we have, let's start at the top. So we have the Reclaiming, which is like the Scrapper, and then we have the Experimentation, both the files and the potions separate, with their own cooldowns, it seems. So this is probably, rather than me buying all of these recipes from the vendor, you'll probably end up having to get the rest of your recipes through the Experimentation, the daily cooldowns, which gives you a bit of a barrier to entry there. But once you've done all of that, that's collected. At the moment, we are fine in terms of 51 out of 100, so we should hopefully, with a lot of these, be able to skill up enough. I mean, obviously I'm using the top-end reagents here. You'd use the cheaper ones just to level up, and then probably some of this Reclaiming to reuse some of your old leveling up potions to reclaim them, do some experimentation, put them back in. But there's only one of these that you need at a time, so it's probably not going to use up all of your potions. You're probably just going to sell them cheap and hope for the best. We don't know yet how the whole commodities market is going to be, so that's still very much an unknown point at this stage. We'll know more once that 9.2.7 comes out. So then we've got other reagents here, which is the Omnium Draconis. Okay, we bought that, didn't we? And this one, the Primal Convergence. So you create those from the other things. These are all blue, and this is looks like combining the various herbs, and that gives you various qualities here. But we're still, with our current skill level, still doing rank 1 and 2. Let's see if we can skill up a little bit higher. This one seems we've got a lot of, so let's do that whilst we're looking through this. So what else we've got? We've got air potions, frost potions, so they have different effects, and depending on their utility, we won't know which ones are going to be the most useful at this stage. Already that's quickly gone down from red to yellow here on this. I don't know what I'm currently making. So let's jump out of that one. Was that the one we have? Make something like this, frost files. Got quite a few of those. Awaken Frost, Awaken Decay. So we've got the files and we've got the potions. So the files replace flasks, we already know that. We've got the cauldrons as you'd expect. So there's a lot of variety here. Which ones are going to be the ones that sell is all going to depend on the meta at a later stage. We won't be knowing that for a long time to come yet. A lot of stuff has gone green and yellow already. So looking at this, we're starting to move on to things like making the trinkets, which you'd probably only ever make one of, to be fair. Let's just create some of those whilst we can. So this gives you your typical alchemist trinket. Spells ability have a chance to increase your intellect. Unique equipped alchemist stone. Proc to rank 3 there. Going between all of those. Can't create any more. So up to 73, we should get up to here. Then we've got, okay, this is the item level, so looking at that, 393 up to 401, so it's not a huge difference, but when you get to the min-max meta, every little thing's going to make a difference, isn't it? It's whether you're going to be able to sell any of these whilst you're leveling up. Obviously, this is not an example of something you'd probably sell. That's interesting. I think this is bugged out. Oh, there we go. It's worked itself out now. So we're on to 4, 3, then 4. So our minimum easiest one is currently at 397. And then we go up to 399 for that one. So a little bit of item level increase at the moment. Obviously our skill level is doing quite well, 82 of 100. Everything else has pretty much gone grey except for the experimentation, which you'll then be hoping for a skill up, doing that on the daily cooldown, making the odd maybe trinkets or the alchemy stone just to get the skill up, and that will be largely your leveling process, it seems. Maybe work orders for something a little bit more complicated, but I don't think at this stage this is going to change your skill up chances or anything like that. So overall, first impressions, I think this is a kind of typical alchemy with a good range of potions, a good element of depth to it. We've got the discovery element to it. We have the cauldrons, we have the transmutations, which may or may not work. The main thing that I think that's going to really affect alchemy is going to be this commodities region-wide market. It's going to affect both the herbs that you buy and it's going to affect the potions that you sell, and we don't know how that's going to work out. So I think it's promising. We know that Blizzard are looking towards kind of like a region-wide market. Ultimately, how that actually pans out in the long term, we don't know yet. So, and how alchemy works, again, unknown. But I think alchemy is going to be a game of efficiency. Get your herbs as cheaply as possible. Craft as many as you can with whatever procs you can to get multiple amounts, or craft them faster, or craft them cheaper, or just craft the best ones you possibly can for the cheapest price possible. And there might be slight margins in there, but I don't think it's going to be a massive profession for gold making unless you can really get your efficiency and your volume into a position where you're actually making a decent amount. And timing will play a factor in that as well. Getting your herbs cheap and then selling these on raid nights and things like that. But overall, yeah, I think it's another nice profession. I like the depth that they're putting in here. So we'll see how it goes with terms of the specialization and the equipment and how that all pans out as well. So there's lots more experimentation to do. This is just the beginning point of professions. I'm really enjoying what we've got so far and looking forward to seeing how this develops. So stay tuned for more videos like this as more stuff gets discovered. If you have any questions, please do ask me by whatever means possible. Comments here or on my Twitter and Discord and through the Wowhead blog, where I write that every Sunday. So until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.